Blizzcon 2023. Please welcome the president of Blizzard Entertainment, Mike Ibarra.
Let's go! How's everybody doing? Oh man, you know, this is the best gaming community in the world, hands down. Hands down. Thank you, wow. Hello, BlizzCon. You know, it is so good to be back in person finally. All of us. I love you too. All of us at Blizzard have missed this so much. It's 4 years. It's been 4 years. You know what I say to that? That's too damn long. Where's our heroes of Overwatch at? Adventurers of Sanctuary? Defenders of Azeroth. And gamers everywhere, welcome. We love sharing what we're working on all the time. But to share it in person with all of you and to hear your stories, it cannot be matched. Meeting you all face to face inspires us. And we put this energy and enthusiasm back into everything we do. Thank you all for being here. In fact, we have tens of thousands of you here in Anaheim, California today. And we hope you enjoy the immersive experience we've created here at the show. We also have millions of people watching right now on stream. BlizzCon, please help me welcome everyone watching from around the world. Whether you're a hardcore or a casual gamer, or if it's been a while since you picked up one of our games, we're here to show you the Blizzard we are today and the Blizzard we are becoming. But BlizzCon isn't just about the latest updates from Blizzard. It's all about you. Players are at the forefront of everything we do, and we're devoted to supporting these incredible communities, communities you can be proud of to be part of. All of us, gamers, developers, and fans, we all are united in our shared love for gaming. The person sitting next to you or watching online and chat with you could be your next guildmate, teammate, or lifelong friend. We all have this in common. I've always felt Blizzard brings players together a little differently. Our players have made connections that span continents, languages, and generations. We all have that one story, that incredible play of the game, that clutch card draw, or that raid encounter that your guild barely survived. I know, I've been there too. I know many of us have friends we've met in one of our games. A friend who began just as someone we hung out with in game, but who was there for us to celebrate our real life wins or to support us during a difficult time. That's certainly been true for me. Thanks to my experience playing Blizzard games over the last 25 years, I've met most of my best friends from all over. And I'm so grateful that some of them are here today. Gus, Pika, Nick, Scoodles, and of course Billy and Kaylee, who put up with my raid wipes all too often. I always know that no matter what is going on in real life, they will be there. No matter what game we're playing, these friends are a constant I can always rely on. And I know many of you share that feeling. BlizzCon truly is about all of us as players, as equals, as friends. As we bring these amazing experiences to more places, build technology that allows more gamers to experience our worlds, and create characters and stories more players can relate to, the Blizzard community grows. And more importantly, our friendships grow. All of us are so grateful to be part of this community. And in everything we do, we are in service to you. We know we don't do everything perfectly, but thanks to your feedback, we never stop striving to do it right. We are here to foster joy and belonging for everyone. We're proud of the worlds we build, but your experiences within those worlds bring them to life, and your connections with each other are what inspires us the most. Now, many of you may have heard the recent news about Blizzard joining the Xbox gaming family. Both Blizzard and Xbox believe that gaming is a unifier, that we should all be able to play anywhere and any way we want to play. That when the creativity of some of the best developers, artists, and storytellers in the world is fearlessly unleashed, everyone wins. With that in mind, someone is here backstage who'd like to say hello. Over the years, he and I played a bunch of games together. Please join me in welcoming my friend, our friend, the CEO of Microsoft Gaming, Phil Spencer.
Thank you, Mike. And hello, everybody, Blizzcon. This is my first Blizzcon ever. And it's great to feel the energy in the room. You are the reason we make games. Your love for these games truly is inspiring. I recently have spent so much time playing Diablo 4 with my friends. Season 2 is awesome. And I can tell you that I can't wait for you to see what the team has planned for that game. It's going to be awesome. Blizzard occupies a special place in the gaming industry, for me as well. Throughout Blizzard's history, they've pioneered and refined so much across the gaming industry, and many of you here today have been a part of that journey. Think of Diablo. It propelled the action RPG genre forward. StarCraft spawned the foundation of what esports would eventually become. And with StarCraft 2, it was a major catalyst for the evolution of games as live entertainment. World of Warcraft changed not only how people developed and supported games, but really it introduced a much wider audience to the concept of online communities. And Overwatch not only reimagined gameplay, but also the representation possible in class-based shooters. Blizzard's influence is everywhere, and because of its enduring legacy and phenomenal revolutionary development, with a care and a craft that is incredibly rare in this industry. Our commitment at Xbox is to bring more great games to more players in more places. And now that Blizzard is part of Xbox, we will nurture the essence of what has made Blizzard unique. We're going to empower our new colleagues in a culture of trust, inclusion, and collaboration to continue what they do best, redefining existing genres, creating new, never-before-seen experiences, and uniting players globally in new ways, in Azeroth, in Sanctuary, in near-future Earth, and beyond. It has been a privilege to welcome the teams at Blizzard to Xbox, and I'm honored to be able to be here to help welcome all of you to BlizzCon 2023. Having seen what's in store for players, I can say the future of Blizzard is brighter than ever. And you all have so much to look forward to in this show. So I'll get out of here, let you see the show. Thanks everyone for the warm reception, and have a great time at BlizzCon. Thank you.
How about that? You know, part of what makes this such an exciting time for Blizzard is that we've never been more empowered, free, and dedicated to holding true to what makes Blizzard unique than we are today. We are accountable for creating this next chapter of Blizzard with all of you. We take this responsibility very seriously as we learn, grow, and get better every day. This is the start of a new era. So much more is possible, and you'll see some of that over the next couple days. Coming up, you'll hear from some new friends and some old friends who are returning to the BlizzCon stage to show more about the games and the worlds we all love. Before I go, I want to take a moment to thank our Blizzard team. You are some of the most talented individuals on the planet, and collectively, we are capable of building the most legendary universes in gaming. Our future, our creative freedom, our path forward is truly our own. And I know we all stand together with a singular goal: to exceed player expectations and foster and support each other. Thank you for everything you do. BlizzCon, many of the Blizzard team are here today in Anaheim, working hard to ensure you enjoy your time here. We all love talking to players, so please don't be shy. Come up and chat with us. Finally, on behalf of everyone at Blizzard, we want to say thank you, thank you, thank you, from the bottom of my heart to our players, past, present, and future. Thank you for your passion and your honesty. And most importantly, thank you for being part of our communities. This is what BlizzCon is all about. Everything we do is for all of you, and it's an honor to be a part of these worlds with you. Now, welcome to BlizzCon.
You wanted to see if there was more out there. Well, see for yourself.
Every one of you in the face.
Mom! Do something!
I'll see you at the finish line.
Did you really think this would be a fair fight?
Oh my god. That was disgusting. Yo, nerf this!
Mama's got you!
I am him!
I'm in my widow era now. Wow.
welcome Overwatch Game Director, Aaron Keller.
Hello, Blizzcon! Ever since we first revealed Overwatch in 2014, you have grown this universe into something truly unique and beautiful. Every single day, we see millions of players jumping into matches, forging new friendships, and showing off their skills. We launched Overwatch 2 last October, and it has been such an incredible year. Since then, you've been crushed by Diva's mech over 26 million times, had more than 79 million lives saved by Baptiste, and played 65 years worth of prop hunt. I love prop hunt. The development of Overwatch is first and foremost focused on you, our players. We want our game to represent this global community, from the release of our Samoa map, to our celebration of Pride, to our first tie-in Peruvian heroes, Lifeweaver and Alari. We also want Overwatch to recognize those focused on achievement and prowess, and released our new progression system and the first set of Hero Mastery courses this year. And for those that just want something a little different, we've run April Fools and released a dating sim, an actual dating sim, Loverwatch. Listening to your feedback is important to us, and it's driven the team to look at changes to some of the core systems of the game. We've been hard at work on an overhaul of our competitive system, and we'll get into that a bit today and a bunch more over the course of BlizzCon. And there is so much more to come. We'd like to give you all a glimpse at as much as we're able to show you coming next year. And boy, do we have some fun things to talk about. So let's get into it. To share our first big announcement, I am honored to introduce the art director of Overwatch, Dion Rogers.
Sorry, I'm a bit excited. The energy is awesome in here. You know, Aaron and I have been working on this universe since before Overwatch had a name. Working together with an incredible team back at Blizzard. Many are with us today at BlizzCon. Creating such an incredible game with so many amazing people and seeing what it means to you all, it's meant everything to us. And out of all the things we work on, one of our favorites is to create new heroes. You know, Overwatch is full of big personalities, and it takes a special individual to really stand out. And the team has been working hard to make sure no one could predict who this next hero is. We haven't leaked any articles. We haven't leaked a spray or two. And we've left 0 hints, especially not in our recent Samoa map. Now, who's ready to meet the newest hero?
Sorry to keep you all waiting, but now that I'm here, let's have some fun. Yep, that's my name, all right. And this right here is Gunny, and she can light up the whole dance floor. And this one's Cha-Cha. He's a sensitive little fella, a real hothead. And when I fire them both, it's double trouble. Actual gameplay footage. Going so soon, I'm gonna miss ya. tell me that's it. Both hearts pumping. I got your back. For now. Here I come. Says say quick Kiki. We got him where we want him.
Unbelievable.
So was I worth the wait? We're gonna have a hell of a time.
That's awesome. I love that trailer. We had a lot of fun working on it. It's amazing to finally announce Mauga. He was first introduced, you guys know, 4 years ago in a short story, and he's been the subject of a lot of fun theories. Ever since that first introduction, fans have been asking when he may become a playable hero. We're excited. We finally have our first Samoan hero. Mauga, his name, it means mountain in Samoan. He portrays himself as this big, loud brute. However, this is just a facade. He's a cunning tactician, always one step ahead of his enemies. One of the core goals whenever we make an Overwatch character is that people see themselves in our heroes. We're always striving for greater authenticity and representation with each hero. And with Mauga, we got a lot of help, actually. Even his tattoo was created by an amazing Samoan tattoo artist named C.E. Lufau. Mauga's super fun. Thank you. It was awesome. Mauga's super fun to play. He's easy to learn, hard to master, with what I like to call a brutal but cunning play style. We hope you love him as much as we do. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Join us later today for a Mauga Deep Dive panel taking place here at the Blizzcon Arena and online for people at home. We'll talk with the team that helped create Mauga and also how to best utilize his amazing abilities when he joins Overwatch in Season 8. Finally, we know Mauga's gonna be pretty awesome when he joins competitive play. But before then, some of the best players in the world are competing in this weekend's Overwatch World Cup. Let's check it out.
Legacy. A legacy is forever.
Dominance reaffirms! Unbelievable!
All year long, teams around the world have battled, chasing glory, hoping to etch their homeland in the history books.
That is insane! He's still fragging like a madman!
And it's a 5-man rampage!
Oh, what? What?
Oh, they've tasted victory, they've overcome defeat, and all along, the hopes of their fans have lifted them up.
Absolutely beautiful!
And now, at long last, the Overwatch World Cup finals are here. And for the first time in 4 years, we're all together once more, back to where it all began. Each team can see their name on the championship trophy. The community has rallied behind them, and the wait is finally over.
I've missed you dearly!
The Overwatch World Cup finals start now.
Please welcome Overwatch Esports host, Zoe Gschwind.
Wow, fantastic to see all those memories on the big screen. And we're here to make some more. What's up, Blizzcon? It's so great to be back here after 4 years with the Overwatch World Cup. This event has always been such a special event because it truly serves as a worldwide tribute to the beautiful and diverse Overwatch community. This weekend, we get to celebrate teams and players from around the world, each with their unique takes on the playstyles, their different personalities. We're gonna see different metas emerge even. It's just very exciting to see familiar faces, big household names in the competitive Overwatch scene take the stage, form those star-studded lineups, Fearless, Super, Gushue, and the likes. But each year, we also get to witness new players emerging onto the scene, taking the spotlight. It truly is a special event for a special community, and I'm very honored and truly happy to be part of it all. Now, I know that all of you here in Anaheim and everyone watching at home is joining us from all over the world. As you can see, so are our players. Among them, a former 3-time World Cup champions, Team South Korea, and the only team that managed thus far to stop their reign, and that is the United States of America. That's right. Well, I tell you, it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy. If you watch the group stages and if you watch the first game today, tough competition ahead for Team USA. And if you want to find out if one of our former champions will remain victorious or if one of the other 6 teams will seize their inaugural season title, make sure to join us. Not only will you be treated to fantastic gameplay, of course, no, you will also earn special drops all weekend long on the Play Overwatch Twitch channel. Now, we have a lot of amazing Overwatch 2 action on the horizon and so much to play for our teams. We got over $500,000 on the line and counting, raised directly by all of you, our passionate and amazing fans. Yeah, give it up for yourself. Now, of course, the winning team will walk away with a big bag, but this year, each and every single player out of the 43 teams participating will be earning a share. And this is unprecedented in Overwatch Esports history, and it would not be possible without all of you. So once again, thank you so much. So, tomorrow night, we will be crowning the 2023 Overwatch World Cup champions, and you can catch all the matches and all the action live in Hall B, as well as, of course, on stream. I'm going to be there. I'm looking forward to seeing some of you as well. And now, please welcome back Aaron with a few more things to share on the game side.
Thank you, Zoe. Mauga is awesome. And the World Cup matches all weekend will be so much fun. But Overwatch has another thing happening here at Blizzcon. Earlier this week, we launched a new limited-time game mode and special skins as part of an exciting collaboration with LE SSERAFIM, one of the biggest K-pop groups in the world. Everyone can jump in-game right now to take part, as well as check out their brand new music video for Perfect Night. And in honor of this collaboration, LE SSERAFIM will take the stage and perform in the arena tomorrow after the community night ends around 6 p.m. Pacific. Working on partnerships like this, or what we did with One Punch Man earlier this year, are incredibly fun. Yes. They provide us, both the dev team and you, the players, a chance to experience some of our favorite universes and artists through the unique style of Overwatch. And next year, we have even more of these for you all to geek out about. Sadly, we can't reveal what those are all just yet, but maybe there are some other things coming in 2024 that we could give you a hint about. The Overwatch team has never had such clarity of vision when it comes to the future. From direct feedback, we hear what you love and want us to focus on. So, who wants to see a few of the things we're working on for next year? We are creating a brand new core PvP game mode, Clash. In this new competitive mode, there are 5 points positioned in a row. The center point starts as the first objective, and the teams battle back and forth over the map, pushing into enemy territory or defending their own. Once a team captures all 5 points or reaches the maximum score, they win. Our initial Clash map is a tribute to a location we showed at Overwatch's first BlizzCon. And it's one of my personal favorites. They say cherry blossoms are a sign of rebirth and rejuvenation. And in 2024, a rebirth of one of the original Overwatch maps is in order. Yes. Within the Clash mode, we are returning to the home of the Shimada clan with the new Hanamura map, Hanaoka. Additionally, we are working on overhauls to some of our most important in-game systems. Overwatch is a highly competitive game, and in early 2024, we'll release a reworked version of our competitive system with all new competitive rewards. And with Seasons, one of the team's goals has been to create themes that speak to so many of the cool and awesome things that we all love. Next year, you'll experience Eldritch Horror, Egyptian mythology, witches, and even a mirror universe where heroes become villains and villains become heroes. And of course, Overwatch is nothing without its heroes. Mauga is the 39th hero in Overwatch, and in 2024, we'll be releasing 3 more, and we want to give you a glimpse of 2 of them. A new damage hero, Venture, is coming in Season 10, and a support currently codenamed Space Ranger in Season 12. And this is just scratching the surface of everything we have in the works. Join us tomorrow here and online, where we go in depth on all of this in our What's Next panel. It will have more information on Clash, the reworked competitive system, a closer look at Space Ranger, even early gameplay footage of Venture, and so much more. And lastly, for the first time ever during a BlizzCon, not only is our next hero playable in the Overwatch Hall here in Anaheim, but all of you at home can play Mauga all weekend in-game, including Quick Play, going live right after the BlizzCon opening ceremony concludes. Yeah. We know you'll love him just as much as we do. Thank you all. We'll see you in game.
What a day. It's good to be alive. I'm going to let you in on a little secret. I wasn't always the friendly, carefree guy you see before you today. I used to take things very seriously. I never had time for fun. One day I realized something had to change. I needed to work on me. Now I've got a whole new outlook on life. I realized that it's okay to put myself first. Found out that I have a knack for bringing people together. Whoa! And I learned how to let loose with friends. I work hard. And I play hard. So, I only have one question for you. Ready to have some fun?
What's up, everybody? Okay, sorry, I'm excited. It's great to be here. But You know, working on our Overwatch hero takes a full team, and I'm thrilled to introduce some of the amazing people who helped bring him to life. We have Kyunso, our narrative designer. Alec Dawson, our lead hero designer. Foster, senior test analyst. And the amazing Rakan, our senior character artist. Okay, so we probably talk about Mauga or any panel forever, but we only have like 45 minutes, so let's just jump right into it. Kyunso, let us know a little bit about Mauga's backstory.
Of course. As Dion mentioned during the opening ceremony, people have been fans of Mauga or Manga for a very long time. We've released 6 heroes with Overwatch 2, and for most of them, if not all, people have been speculating if it was going to be Manga. But here's a very quick introduction of him for anyone who doesn't know who he is. He was originally introduced in 2019 in the second Overwatch short story, What You Left Behind, written by Alyssa Wong. It's a story that follows Baptiste, and Manga makes quite the appearance. Mauga and Baptiste worked for Talon, and they were pretty close friends before Baptiste left. And Mauga made an immediate impact.
They are kind of like frenemies.
Yeah. I mean, look at him. Look at that sly, self-satisfied grin. He's just the guy who wants to have fun. Woo! Yeah, that's right. But be careful. Behind his grin, there's always a threat. And he uses his big, jockey personality to hide his cunning side. One of my favorite lines in that short story is when he just goes, "It gets real Shakespearean up in here." He's our first Samoan hero, and we worked really hard to get that right. Throughout his development, the team worked with 3 cultural consultants, and they also helped us refine the Samoa map. And beyond the cultural consultants, we also worked with the brilliant Samoan tattoo artist, C.E. Lufau, to get his tattoo just right, because they have such a huge cultural significance in Samoan culture. It represents their heritage, their past, present, and future. So we knew we had to get this right.
Yeah, it was interesting when we first started to dig into the tattoo. We had done some drawings where Omnics were tattooing on Mauga's back. And once we started to work with CE, he was like, a tattoo is something that a human transfers to a Samoan.
It's a sacred experience,
right.
Yeah.
And so he had given us his feedback that the depiction of a robot or something without a soul basically transferring a tattoo was not the right thing. And so this was what's so fun about meeting these different people, the different culture experts. They really worked hand in hand with the character artists and the narrative designers. And just, we had fun figuring this out. And Mauga's such a fun and unique hero. This includes his lore, the art, the design history, his abilities. As you all have either played him already on the show floor or at home, because you can play him right now, you should get you kind of get what you're actually experiencing with him. So, to talk a little bit more about the abilities, Alex, you want to break it down what his gameplay is like?
Yeah, let's talk about Mauga and sort of what he brings as a tank to Overwatch. His style gameplay, he can either charge in alone or he can go with his team, right? Because he's this big, high threat level who sustains through dealing damage. And that's how he's really unlike a lot of the other tanks is, he has this passive that actually keeps him up as he deals critical damage. So it's one of the things where he's constantly in the fight, he's brawling, he's destructive, because that's the way he is keeping himself alive and in the fight. Another thing he does is his guns are hit scan. When developing Mauga, the team really wanted to look at a tank that could counter Pharah or Echo and have an ability to actually contest them while they're in the air from afar or even up close. So when looking at Mauga, there was a few things the team really wanted to get right. And talking with Josh Snow, our lead balance designer and the point designer for Mauga, he talks about the guns being core to this hero. Mauga is one of those kits, say like Widowmaker, where the gun comes first and then all the rest of the abilities follow. Along with his weapons, though, we also wanted to make sure we could have abilities for a character of this size. Mauga is huge. He's huge in game, as you may have already seen. He's the biggest hero that we have in the game so far. So what do you have to do to compensate for that size? He's a big target. And then finally, it was about getting this personality right. He's aggressive, he's destructive, he's in your face, but he's also smarter than he looks. And that really started with the character that narrative and art were telling.
I think he's about 7 feet or.
Yeah, he's a big guy.
The biggest character we made so far. And I mentioned earlier that his name, Mauga, means mountain in Samoan, so we had no choice but to make him big. And had you guys touched on it, he has this, I really like his play style. It's very, it feels brutal, but there's a lot of strategy behind the approach. And Overwatch heroes aren't just about their abilities. We take great pride in their personalities too. In the short story that you mentioned, published around summer 2019. And then we suddenly released Sigma later, if you guys remember. And actually Sigma was we envisioned him as Mauga at first. And as we started to play with these psychic abilities and the different powers that this character that would eventually become Sigma, but we intended it to be Mauga, it just didn't feel right. He's a big dude, like Foster was there when we were trying out a bunch of abilities. And it just, Mauga wasn't the guy, like I think you mentioned, he doesn't psychically throw the rock at you, he picks the rock up and throws it at you. And so we decided to pivot during that time.
Yeah, so these are both tanks, right? But as we developed the tank kit that became Sigma, we kept coming back to Mauga's personality, and that he's this big guy, he's smart, he's very aggressive, and even if he had the ability to psychically throw a boulder at you, he wouldn't. He would pick it up. It's a show of force to pick up a boulder and hurl it at someone. And then along with that, in Sigma's kit, he has his barrier. How does a guy holding 2 giant guns, named Gunny and Cha-Cha, hurl this barrier out? How does he deploy that? So from a gameplay perspective, that wasn't really working out, so we kind of drew that back. And we released Sigma. We pivoted to Sigma there. And then for Mauga, we just went back to the drawing board and thought more, how can we nail down this personality type? How do we make the hero he's supposed to be and not kind of force abilities on a personality that it doesn't really fit with? And so we developed that mentality, but that physicality, and that was in tandem with ability design and then also with art, where we looked at, okay, how do we represent this giant of a man? And it came down to giant guns.
Yep.
Yeah, it was really, that part was subverting expectations and didn't necessarily make sense for Mauga in particular, right? But Rakan, I think the guns, you worked a ton on them. Do you want to go expand on that?
Yeah. Something that I really love about working on these heroes is how we almost challenge each other and push our different teams in new ways. Mauga is super fun, but that's only because the team making him that way. How his design has changed, his story has evolved, and seeing his abilities be refined, it's a full team effort to line these pieces up.
So let's get into his specific abilities. He has these massive chain guns, Gunny and Cha-Cha, two of my favorites. Alex, what do they bring to the fight?
Yeah, so he has these 2 guns, but unlike other dual-wielding heroes, such as Reaper, each one does something different, and they can also be fired together, right? So let's watch the video to take a look at these in action real quick. So you have his incendiary chain gun, his left quick, that sets opponents on fire. It takes 10 hits to set the opponent on fire, so they'll be in a burning state, or they become vulnerable to his right click, his volatile chain gun. And when you deal damage with that, it deals critical damage. This is pretty important because whenever Mauga deals critical damage, whether it be through volatile chain gun or through headshots, he actually gains temporary health as well. So this was a part that we really wanted to get right in its development, where there was this mini game between both of the guns. It allows Mauga to play at actually different types of ranges. Mauga can play really up close, rail on both guns at the same time, or he can be a little bit pokey sometimes. A little bit of left click, a little bit of right click, and get to that rhythm that can actually deal a lot of damage.
And that on-fire ability, where he lights someone on fire, is actually really unique for our game because it also works in tandem with Ash's dynamite. If you light a target or a bunch of targets on fire with an Ash on your team, then he gets that crit damage across all of them as long as they're on fire. So there's a little more cohesion between hero selection now than there used to be. and that's something new that we've done. This also, as you mentioned, works with his passive, his Berserker passive. He gains bonus health from all those, so if Ashe lights up the entire team, you can go crazy getting your extra crits and your additional health and everything, and it's really amazing.
Yeah, that's what Mauga's really using to keep himself alive in a fight. You know, he wants to make sure he gets that critical damage, set opponents on fire, and then right-click to get the bonus health.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. The fire passive was kind of a really interesting development issue, and we had to work around. Because adding fire to Mauga's kit, which is a really cool idea, it added a lot of challenges visually to the game. So artistically, there's a lot of people on fire now in the game. And with so many visual elements, it would be asking even more people's systems, the game engine, to possibly 2 different heroes are setting people on fire. These 2 different visual, we need to figure out how to kind of separate the 2 so that you knew who was doing what. This also complicates things for players that may also be colorblind from distinguishing what types of fire damage would be a little bit more trickier and could lessen their experience. By combining all this together, we put our heads together, and we came up with a really fun pairing mechanic that isn't overpowered, but could be really fun to play with. It's like a nice bonus.
Yeah. And if you're all wondering where the silly, silly names of Cha-Cha and Gunny came from.
I am wondering.
You did not? It actually came from just joking around in team chat. I think we were all agreeing that Mauga is the type of guy to give his guns pet names. One of the top contenders was lefty and righty, but Alec here didn't really like that. So it sounds really stupid, I know, but we just took the first 3 letters from chain gun, and made it Cha-Cha.
Okay.
And Gunny, because duh, it's a gun. And the team really liked it. Okay. And Rakan here just threw the ball out of the park, and he actually implemented the names into the guns designs themselves.
So speaking about lefty and righty, I mean Cha-Cha and Gunny, being that he has 2 weapons and they deliver different types of damage, it was really interesting challenge to get that look just right. If you look at the earlier concept, you'll see that his weapons looks different from the one that we have now. Well, the concept looked great. Once we put that in the game, it just didn't look right from the first-person angle. So then we had to go back for the concept, rework them. And fun fact about these guns, they are the biggest guns in the game, but they are also the biggest guns in the game. So, for Mauga. I want to say a huge shout out to Mauga Strike Team. I know your guys are out there. And especially Jeff Mianowski for the awesome work that he did on the character.
Yep.
And also for the tech team, especially John Curran, who did an incredible job with adding new technology to Mauga, which I'm going to say some big words now, so focus with me. Mauga has the first fully automatic muscle system in his body. We've never done that before. So while he's moving his arm, you see the bicep. I mean, don't zoom in here right here. See how the bicep? All of that, Mauga got it automatic. So again, our tech team is just doing incredible work. And if you look at this slide, it all started as a joke. These guns, I bet they're bigger than Tracer, right? And then I just put this scene quickly together. I'm like, yep, they are definitely bigger than Tracer. So technically, Mauga's running around holding 2 Tracers like that.
That's why they're orange, right?
Yeah, exactly.
This is our new scale. How many Tracers is it?
Yeah, I don't think we're going to make guns this big again, but
Here you can see the before and after, like how we had to adjust the barrel size. So it was just right in the 1P because once we put them in the game, they were blocking too much from the view. And I know you guys love the whole thing to be clear as possible. So we fixed it. And if you think about like Tracer and Reaper, they have 2 guns, right? But Mauga's gun is, I would say, a little bit bigger than these guns. So that's why that issue showed up when we did these guns, and we just edited it. And hopefully now it just looks perfect, and you guys will love it.
Yeah. And beyond his guns, his ability Overrun is also quite fun. Let's see a video of it in action. As you can see, he charges forward and he lands in a huge stomp, launching his opponents in the air. This, I think, perfectly encapsulates Mauga's personality.
Definitely. During Overrun, Mauga is actually unstoppable. He cannot be CC'd, you can't sleep him, you can't boop him, you can't stop him from getting where he wants to go, because he's this big guy who just needs to get where he needs to be So once he starts going, he's going. Get out of his way and prepare for once he stops. Also, when he lands on an enemy, as you can see here with Reinhardt, if you are precise and land directly on an enemy, it's a brief stun. So if you've got a Cassidy preparing his ult and you want to stop that, you can charge right in and land on him, and that's a stun. It'll stun him right out of his ult.
So hacks.
Yeah, it's nice. It has a little bit of skill expression there. It's one of those abilities that was really important for Mauga that we had to get right because he is this big body. So, you know, if he's charging at you, it's really easy to CC him in that way. So adding Unstoppable here allows Mauga to get where he wants to go, get in the fight, rail down on both chain guns, like hold both those buttons down and deal a lot of damage. Right. But this ability in particular went through quite a bit of iterations. There was one version where Mauga would run up and launch the enemy behind him. I think a lot of the kit at the time was Mauga was an anti-air tank overall. So he was dealing critical damage to any enemy in the air. So you would throw them behind you, you'd turn around, you'd actually use Sigma's Rock as a combo back then. So yeah, this ability in particular, a bunch of iterations, and I really like this version that we ended up with. You know, it is something that is forceful, allows Mauga to get in, and the stomp at the end was something that came in rather late in development, but it was just icing on the cake to an already great ability.
Right. Also, if you're curious about just avoiding it, compared to Reinhardt's charge, this can make the hairpin turn in Circuit Royale, so good luck avoiding it by going around a corner real quick.
Yeah. Poor Reinhardt. Cardiac Overdrive. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, Mauga's second ability here, Cardiac Overdrive. When thinking about Mauga's defensive capabilities, we wanted to match his personality and playstyle. You know, he's destructive. He likes to get in. He likes to deal a bunch of damage. We'll look at the scoreboards later on today during your Mauga games. There's gonna be a lot of damage from Mauga in particular. But how can we capture those things with the way Mauga sustains himself and also make him, you know, help his team? The role of a tank to actually lift those allies up a little bit too. So let's take a look at Cardiac Overdrive here.
Yep. When you activate Cardiac Overdrive, Mauga and his nearby allies receive damage reduction and receive healing based on how much damage they do. It's a big lifesteal aura that gives your team the window to turn the fight in their favor. It pairs well with other heroes that have high damage output and are able to move with the aura. Heroes like to get in the mix. If you think about a Reaper double dipping with Cardiac Overdrive with his own lifesteal, that's good. That's super scary. In this video, which should show up anytime right now.
I think we have a video queued up for it as well. You'll see Soldier 76 will be gaining some health right here.
Yeah, if you look at Soldier HP as he's shooting with the Cardiac Overdrive, you can see how it's healing up. We visually needed to find a way to let you know that you are getting that aura. So on the screen, we added a burning effect. It's really important to find that balance, communicating to players that is going on without overloading the screen with too many different things that can either be distracting to or use up computer resources.
Yeah, this one went through quite a few iterations as well. Many of the early renditions of the ability were quite selfish, actually. He had this adrenaline meter where by dealing damage, you gain movement speed, and then you could consume some of it to actually heal yourself. And then that ended up becoming his Berserker passive. So a lot of that came in where it's like, hey, Mauga still wants some self-sustain in there. Another version that we tried left a pull on the ground instead of traveling with Mauga. But you'd be confined to this space, and it kind of fought against how aggressive Mauga wants to be. You know, he really wants to use Overrun to get in there, and just deal a bunch of damage, be destructive, be brutal. So by putting what that ability was, ended up on the Berserker passive, it freed up Cardiac Overdrive to be something that you could use for your team. And with how it works now, you know, encourages Mauga to use it, get in with his teammates, this big window of opportunity. Characters like Mei and Reaper really love this ability.
The sound design of this ability is worth shouting out as well. When you initiate the ability, you actually hear the sound of double racing heartbeats because leaked fun fact, Mauga has 2 hearts. He received a cybernetic heart during a pretty intense battle, and then later on upgraded his organic one. And the sound team really hit it out of the park. It's such a visceral, powerful sound. It really makes you feel powerful in the moment. Yeah. And actually, you can see heart canisters in the Samoa map in Mauga's room for his, regularly cybernetic upgrades. And of course, alongside his, we can't forget his shark slippers, because Mauga likes to relax in style.
I need a pair of those.
Yeah, thank you to the environment art team, because they always take my silly ideas and just run with it without questioning me.
So speaking of heart canisters and shark slippers, that brings us to his ultimate, cage fight. So for his ultimate, Mauga deploys a barrier, and along with it, as you can see in the middle, a little totem that traps everyone inside that barrier with him. So any enemies that are in the location where he is, it isolates all of them with him for him to be able to take them on 1v1, 1v3, 1v5 if you're feeling spicy. But it isolates these targets by putting a huge barrier around him, which means the rest of the team might be locked off for them, and it keeps them inside, which can prevent them from getting where they need to go. So the biggest challenge when developing Cage Fight was keying into having players understand what this ult does and how it works. And so we developed it with these chains that are very visible and hold you in place, so you know you're trapped and you know you really need to knuckle down and defend yourself against this man who's coming at you with you trapped in here with him. And we have a video for that. So as you can see, when he deploys it, the Reinhardts are chained with him within this barrier. He can unload on them. You also might notice that he has infinite ammo during this ultimate, so people are trapped in short range with you, and you may as well just hold down both of your buttons at that point.
Yeah, it's an ultimate that can be quite versatile, depending on the situation, the team composition, the state of the battle. A lot of the times, you really want to get one target in there, isolate them from the rest of their team, try to burst down a support. But sometimes, we've seen a lot of playtests, people that go and they want to trap the whole team in there, right? I think there's already some combos online that people are discovering. If Mauga traps the whole team in there, Lifeweaver can pull Mauga out, but the rest of the enemies stay in that zone, stay in the cage fight. So there's a lot of things you can do here. Sometimes it's also just a giant barrier. It can just be this big barrier in the clutch because it has a bunch of health, quite big, takes up a lot of space.
And recently someone said, Mauga is starting a fight he has no intention of losing, and a big part of that is knowing when and where to start that fight. So playing as Mauga at the lower level, just trapping people with you is a really good thing. It feels good, but at the higher levels, knowing when and where to deploy that to keep the tank from getting back to the point, to trap supports with you so they can't help their team, to trap a specific hero so that their supports need to decide if they need to jump in this barrier with you or not to try to defend them and protect them. You wind up with a lot of these cases where based on your comp and their comp, you can make some really interesting, fun decisions about how you should use this ult.
Yeah, and this was an ability that we actually tried previously as well. There was a bunch of iterations for other heroes at one point, right?
Yes, this was actually originally D.Va ult. Way back when we were developing D.Va.
Questionable version as well.
Yeah. Oh no, the D.Va version was actually a giant sphere that shot lasers at everybody inside of it. And we didn't go with that. It didn't feel good for that hero, but we never throw anything away, so we worked on it. There's been a few different iterations over the years, and with this one, I think we really nailed what we want.
Yeah, one of the most difficult things to get right, I think recently we tried this for Junker Queen as well at one point. One of the most difficult things to get right was the shape language of, or the communication going on here where you're in a barrier, but then you're also stuck there. So we tried some things where it was a physical wall, actually, instead of a barrier to sort of communicate that. But then the chains came in, and that was really the difference. And I think the strike team and everyone working on Mauga knocked out of the park to finally get that one right.
Surprisingly, this is the one time that solo ulting someone is not overly frowned upon.
Wait, he's not saying you should do it, though.
Yeah, and for those of you playing him, keep an ear out, because if you trap only one enemy, there might be a fun little Easter egg voice line.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, and before we finish up here, I do want to talk a little bit about, Mauga and where he fits in the game, right?
Right. So
Mauga, we envision him as being in a lot of different comps, a lot of different rush comps, similar to Reinhardt or Junker Queen. If you think about heroes that are going to enable him, you think about heroes like Lucio that can really get him into a fight fairly quickly, or even someone who can sustain him. Mauga's this big body. He needs a lot of healing, right? So maybe someone like Lifeweaver can help him out and actually keep Mauga alive in that fight. And then tanks going against him. He is a tank that relies on dealing damage to keep himself alive. So if you think of who can prevent that, tanks like D.Va, tanks like Sigma are definitely ones that have a good chance against countering Mauga.
That's awesome. Well, as you guys can see, the team really put a lot of love and care into these heroes. But Mauga feels extra special. We really went that extra mile to make sure he was just right. But before we leave, I wanted to talk with the guys just really quickly. What has it been like working on? What has it meant to you working on Mauga? Kyung-soo?
Oh, yeah. Well, it's just been an honor to work on one of the most anticipated heroes of Overwatch 2. The narrative foundation was so strong. It was just so much fun and a privilege to just build upon that. And I think we all sort of remarked on this when we were talking with all of the Samoan cultural consultants. We all, they were all just so joyful. They had this joie de vivre. And we were all really inspired by that. So I think you could really see it in the hero. You know, he's just a big guy. He wants to have fun.
Yeah.
And we really wanted to instill that part of the culture into the hero itself.
Awesome. Alex, he's finally out.
Yeah, I'm very excited. I mean, people are playing Mauga right now. That's incredible. But I think one of the biggest things taken away from Mauga's development is seeing how the team took the time to get Mauga right. You know, at one time we talked about Mauga with Sigma. We also switched Mauga for Matra to have more time on Mauga in particular. And it was just the team taking the time to make sure that this hero in particular came out in the best iteration possible. So shout out to Josh No and the rest of the Mauga Strike team for what we're going to release in Season 8.
Cool. And Foster?
Applause. Season 8.
Josh No.
So,
thank you.
So one of the things I really love about Overwatch Heroes is how big and bold and over the top they are. Their personalities as well as, you know, abilities in a video game. And Mauga, I think, really nails that kind of big, bold personality that I love in our heroes. He's out there, he's open, he's big. And when we nail that really well, they become charismatic beyond the kinds of people they may actually be. So the previous hero that did this for me was Junker Queen. Junker Queen is this big, bold personality. Even though she's not the greatest person overall, you really connect with her and her personality and how big she is. And they're, what? I love Junker Queen. Have you seen what she does to Omnix?
And Rick, oh, sorry, you.
So, I think Mauga also nails that, where despite what he does and his work with Talon and the kind of person he is, he's so big and lovable that you just really want to connect with him, and you do, and you enjoy playing him as a hero, as a person, as much as a tool set that really works with you in gameplay.
It's awesome.
Well, I gotta say, Mauga is probably one of my favorite heroes for now. Like design-wise, I love it. And like getting to work on his guns and just seeing the process of how they started till the end, like how all the challenges that we got and how we just, you know, got through all of them and we got the final designs. That was just I will never forget that experience. And his personality, as Foster said, is incredible. I love him, and I need to know his workout routine, obviously. Like, look at that guy. Yeah, it's been an incredible journey working on this here, for sure.
That's awesome. And yeah, for me, I kind of mentioned earlier in open ceremony, whenever we make an Overwatch hero, we really want people to see themselves in our hero. This guy looks like someone I know. He looks like me, or his abilities are super fun to play. And I think we really nailed this with Mauga. And Overwatch in general is this globe-trotting adventure. You're traveling the world, you're meeting these different characters, these different heroes, and we're trying to hit every culture, represent everybody as best we can. And I feel like the effort that went into this one, it just was next level. So you guys were super awesome. And thank you to all you guys for joining us today. And have a fantastic weekend. And before we go, sorry, don't miss tomorrow's What's Next panel, where we'll be showing a bit more of the heroes coming after Mauga, actually, with Aaron and friends. And my last thing I love about Mauga is I love his guns. Not just these, but Gunny and Cha-Cha. And speaking of Cha-Cha,
Come on.